Hi there, chemistry students. This is Dr. Bower-Phipps. I'm here to walk you through how to balance chemical reactions. So, when you turn in this homework on Google Classroom, make sure that you either show your work in the way that I demonstrate in this video, or if you're doing it by hand using pencil and paper, you can just take a picture and submit that as part of it. So, to get full credit, you need to show some work somehow. The other thing you're going to need for this assignment might be your periodic table. So remember, on your classwork tab, you can go down to the resource library and you have a periodic table available there. Remember, this has things that are all your element symbols on the front, and it also has common polyatomic ions, which will be more important for level 2. But know that if you have trouble figuring out, is it an element or a compound, use your periodic table as your guide. So for this homework, we're going to balance chemical reactions. Here's what you need to do. Step 1, write down any elements present under the arrow, which divides the reaction in half, right? Reactants are at the beginning, products are at the end. Step 2 is to make sure that you count what's there at the beginning. And then step 3 is if it's not the same on both sides, you need to write coefficients in to recount them. All right, so let's do example 1. Here you see a reaction where magnesium and oxygen are reacting to form magnesium oxide. This arrow divides the reaction into reactants and products. The first step is to write the elements underneath the arrow in this middle column. So the elements I have are Mg and O. This is where it's really important that you write down the element symbol correctly. Capitalization matters a lot. The second step is to count how many atoms you have of each. On the left-hand side, there's just one magnesium. On the right-hand side, there's also just one magnesium. Hey, that's looking good. I start with one, I end with one. In the second element, I have oxygen. O2 means that I have two oxygens on the left. And this formula tells me that I just have one oxygen on the right-hand side. So as I'm trying to figure out if it's balanced, magnesium looks good so far, one on each side, but the oxygen, I have two on the left, but just one on the right. So that's not balanced yet. So to balance it, I put in big numbers. I put in a big number here. That's why I left those little blanks there for you. I put a big number here to tell me that I actually need two oxygens. So I'm going to change this. Two oxygens there. But it also changed the magnesium because that 2 goes to everything on that side. So I changed my magnesium to 2. Okay, now my oxygens are balanced just by putting in a 2 there, but it messed up the magnesiums. Drat. So that means I need to go back to this side and fix it. I have 2 over here, so I need 2 over here. So I'm going to put a 2 in front of that magnesium, and that changes the magnesium total count to 2. Go back and double check. On this side, 2 magnesiums, 2 magnesiums. On this side, 2 oxygens, 2 oxygens, 2 oxygens, 2 oxygens. This one is balanced. Let's try the second one. Again, the first step is to do Cl, put it in my elements. Cl is the first element, Li is the second element, F is the third element. Figure out what elements are there and write them underneath the arrow. Next, count them up. On the left-hand side, I have 2 chlorines, 1 Li, and 1 F. On the right-hand side, they're in a different order, but I can still count them. I have 1 Li, 1 Cl, and 2 Fs, 2 fluorines. Okay, so the lithium looks good so far, but both the chlorine and fluorine are going to need some work. So let's start with the chlorine because that's first. I have 2 on one side and 1 on the other. I can never take them away. I can only add more. So I'm going to put a 2 in front of this one because it changes the chlorine, but it changes everything. It changes the 2 to the Li. Now I have 2 lithiums, and it changes the chlorine. That's what I was trying to do in the first place. So now I have 2 chlorines. Good, good. So my chlorines match, the lithiums used to match. Let's change the lithiums. I have 2 on this side and 1 on this side. So the left-hand side needs some more. I need 2 total. It distributes through. 2 times 1 is 2 lithiums. 2 times 1 is 2 fluorines. It changed both of them because they're in a compound together. The big number in front changes both of them. The little number just goes to the one it's next to. All right, so now it looks like I'm all set. Looking good. Let's try example number 3. Example number 3, I have C's and H's and O's on both sides. So I'm going to put C's, H's, O's in my chart. Remember, capitalization matters, so be careful. The second step is to count. 1 carbon on the left, 4 hydrogens on the left, and 2 oxygens on the left. All right, on the right-hand side, I have 1 carbon, 2 hydrogens, and you'll notice that this is a combustion reaction, right? We have CH4 and O2 combining to make O2 and H2O. So that reaction tells us that because it's a combustion, it's going to be a little bit special. These are the tricky ones. They're tricky because oxygen is being counted in 2 different places. It's here and here. So that means when we count, we have 1 there and 2 there. 2 plus 1 is 3 oxygens. This is what makes combustion reactions one of the hardest ones to balance. All the steps are the same, you just have to remember to count the oxygens in 2 places. Okay, let's start with our carbons first. 1 carbon on the left, 1 carbon on the right. Carbon's already all set. Hydrogens, let's try. 4 on the left, 2 on the right. So I need 2 more hydrogens over here to make a total of 4. Because they multiply, I'm going to put a 2 here because 2 times 2 gives me 4 hydrogens. But it also changes my oxygens. Now I have 2 times 1 is 2 plus the other 2 oxygens over here. So 2 plus 2 now gives me 4 oxygens. Okay, carbon is still fine. Hydrogen is fine. Now let's fix the oxygens. I have 4 over here and 2 on the left. So I need to put a number in front that's going to make this equal 4. 2 times 2 gives me 4. All right, that's the third example. Good luck, everybody. I'll see you again soon.